Hey guys, this is Ryan O'Hara, contributor for Boxing.com, here to talk to you about the aftermath of the Adrien Broner Marcos Maidana fight that took place this evening at the Alamo Dome for the WBA Welterweight Championship of the World. Before we do that, check out the sponsor across the description, www.simplyrugged.com, and also follow me on Twitter. So we're not going to tease you anymore, we're going to get right down to business. Marcos Maidana overpowered and overwhelmed Adrien Broner to snag the WBA Welterweight Championship, knocking Broner down twice and cruising to unanimous decision points victory Saturday evening at the Alamo Dome. The build up to the fight was clearly the trash talking. Adrien Broner once again provided the trash talking. Broner knew of Maidana's convincing punching power coming into the bout. Broner described this fight as, quote, his biggest fight. However, Broner also said, quote, I can't really trash talk with someone who doesn't speak English. All I can say is that I hope he is 100%. I never get the credit I deserve. And when I win this fight December 14th, which I will, I don't want any excuses. The guys Maidana has fought, he's been able to hit. He's got to hit me first, unquote. Sounds like a younger Floyd Mayweather Jr., does it not? However, Adrien Broner certainly proved tonight that he is no Floyd Mayweather. Marcos Maidana was dominant, handing Broner his first professional defeat in his 28th professional bout. Broner, unfortunately, did not stick around for post-fight interviews. After the judges' scores of 115-110, 116-109, and 117-109 were read, Broner quickly left the ring with his team to a loud chorus of boos. The boos were well deserved, but Broner is still a young fighter, still has plenty of fights left. A true champion, as Floyd Mayweather said on Twitter this evening, quote, can take a loss and bounce back. Maidana immediately came forward at Broner. Broner, notorious for showboating the first couple of rounds, quickly found himself in trouble, as Maidana slammed Broner with 26 punches in the opening frame, while Broner was only able to land 6. Maidana's overhand right landed with immense impact, as Broner, stumbling and confused, struggled to survive the first round. Broner found himself in a very unfamiliar position, trapped against the ropes and being pounded by powerful combinations at the hands of Maidana. The second round was more of the same. However, Broner got caught napping as Maidana landed a swinging left hook that landed flush, sending Broner crashing into the ropes. According to Showtime Punch Statistics, Maidana landed an incredible 57 punches in the opening 2 rounds. Broner only managed to land 13, which means he essentially landed 7 punches in the second round. Maidana, on the other hand, landed 31 punches in the second round. As Maidana tried to regain the energy he had exonerated the opening 2 rounds, Broner began to find his rhythm. Well, sort of. Broner was trading punches with Maidana for the next 5 rounds, but also was frequently clinching. It seemed to me at this point that Broner didn't really want to fight. In the 8th round, Maidana went back on the attack, hitting Broner with a strong left to the midsection, followed by another overhand right that sent Broner to the floor for the second time in the fight. Things that got interesting, but not in a good way. Adrien Broner faked a headbutt in a move that made Clint Boyer look like a potential Oscar winner and rolled on the canvas repeatedly. As the crowd booed, Broner remained in a corner for the next 3 minutes before action would resume. As Paulie Malignaggi put it, quote, he was looking for a way out. Analysts like myself were very disappointed by what we saw from Adrien Broner. However, referee Lawrence Cole still had a point deducted from Marcos Maidana, so we had to score that a 9-8 round, which is, kind of something you don't see too often. But despite that, it didn't affect the way that Maidana was fighting at all. Maidana once again caught Broner with another vicious combination, as Broner showed an evident flaw with his defense all night long. Many analysts, including myself, scored round 9 a 10-8 round. Broner was getting pounded and not punching back at all. Broner was able to recover in the 10th round, but was not able to land anything significant. With the defeat, Broner falls to 27-1, and his future is certainly up in the air. With the way he acted following the fight, doesn't seem like Adrien Broner's taking the loss too well. In the end, this may be a life-changing lesson for Adrien Broner. We all certainly hope so. His antics in the ring, especially the dry humping that occurred earlier in the fight, don't even ask, was simply disturbing. I tip my hat to Marcos Maidana, though. He's a classy guy. He didn't have to offer a rematch for Broner following the fight, but he did, because he's a classy guy. Although I think the fans will be more open to the idea of Maidana fighting either Keith Thurman, who stopped Jesus Soto Karass earlier this evening, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Manny Pacquiao, or perhaps Danny Garcia. With the loss, Adrien Broner might want to move down to 140 pounds. He didn't look amazing in his fight against Paulie Malignaggi either, and maybe, like Canelo Alvarez, was put in these big prize fight scenarios too early in his career. It'll be interesting to see what Broner has in store in the future. He is still very young. We all hope he can bounce back from this defeat, and he certainly has the tools to do so. However, it all starts with the way he acts in the ring And with the way he acted in the ring today, Marcos Maidana stepped up to the bully and said, "You know what? It's time for a change." It's reminiscent, not exactly as bad as the way Ricardo Mayorga trash talked fighters like Oscar De La Hoya or Fernando Vargas, but still in a way that's going to upset another fighter. And Marcos Maidana's not going to have any of it. So Maidana's the WBA welterweight champion. Um, I talked to a fellow friend of mine in Alex Zambrano. He'd be interested in seeing Marcos Maidana fighting Danny Garcia first before Floyd Mayweather, because Manny Pacquiao is now the mandatory challenger, mandatory opponent. If Mayweather decides to defend his WBC championship, Pacquiao would be that fight, or he could bypass Pacquiao again and then fight Amir Khan. However, that would probably have to be a non-title fight because Mayweather's WBC title is only for WBC and yada yada yada. And we know that Mayweather's more comfortable at 147, which really puts him in a position where he might be forced to fight Pacquiao at some point, because we know that Mayweather is not necessarily a big fan of fighting above 147, which is why they had the catch weight, the Canelo Alvarez fight at 150. So great fight. I was just really disappointed in what we saw from Broner today. There's what really worried me. Lou, I was talking to a promoter or tweeting with a promoter earlier, and I noted that referee Cole, he had warned Broner 12 different times for fouls. He was warned on at least 12 different times, and Maidana had a point taken away for something that wasn't even a foul because one, there was no headbutt. So I found that just really disappointing, and I hope that Adrien can come back. I mean, I don't hate Adrien Broner. I don't think, I mean, he's not necessarily, a guy kids and parents look up to, but I hope, because this is his career, means a lot to him, and I hope he can come back. Like Floyd Mayweather said, the best champions can take a true champion can take a loss and bounce back. So we all hope Adrien Broner can recover from this, and we'll see what his future is in the 147-pound division. But for now, Marcos Maidana is on top of the world, and he'll enjoy this victory, and we'll see what he has in store. What do you guys think of the fight? Let me know. I loved it. Follow me on Twitter. Check out simplyrugged.com. Have a good night.